Hey Internet, another week, another game. This week we are covering what's on my shirt, Infamous 2. So Infamous 2 came out in June exclusively for the PlayStation 3 console. Personally, what I think is one of the main things that sells the system is all of its exclusives, and Infamous is not an exception. I've been a big fan of Infamous since the first game. Almost played through it twice, but I couldn't handle playing it evil. And we'll get to that in a second. Infamous 2 has you playing as Cole McGrath, a superhuman with lightning powers, trying to defeat the ultimate evil that is the Beast. The Beast was prophesized as coming at the end of the first game, and this game is essentially you training to beat the Beast, who came a lot earlier than expected. It destroys Cole's hometown of Empire City, the setting for the first game, and sets him running to a New Orleans-style city, New Marais. Holy crap, is this game fun. One of my favorite things about the game is that you can turn it on, do side missions, just beat people up, bad people, of course, and not even play a mission. That was part of the fun with the last game that I had. I would get so caught up, I wouldn't sleep, really. I would just play through the night, wake up, go to class, do homework, come back, and play some more. A lot of stuff got tightened up in this game. I'd say it's pretty good. It's not necessarily perfect, but I liked doing melee in this game because of the amp. Holy shit. You get this giant tuning fork to beat the hell out of monsters and bad guys with. Your lightning powers get improved, and on top of it, Infamous is known for a karma system where you can either play the role of the hero or of the villain. And it's sweetened the deal by giving you either ice powers or fire powers, depending on which route you chose. I played the game as a hero. I couldn't really see myself being the bad guy, especially having to beat up civilians, and the powers weren't as tempting as they were in the last game, but I really didn't use the ice powers that much, to be honest. I actually mimicked what my playstyle was for the first game as much as I could. They fixed the skill tree in a way where instead of just randomly unlocking powers, you would actually have to perform stunts like a certain amount of headshots, knocking enemies into the air and zapping them, and then you would unlock that power. The gameplay is super satisfying, and I really can't help but recommend this game to everyone. Now, in terms of story, I like the continuation that it got from Infamous 1. Your buddy Zeke, who ends up being a dick for most of the first game, really comes into his own as a character in this game, and you really care for him up until the end. You also got to see a little bit more of Cole as just a person. There's one scene in particular where it just showed Zeke and Cole hanging out drinking beer all night. The karmic choices are really black and white. There's really no gray area, which is okay, but I played good anyway, so it didn't really matter. I was really into this game since I first popped it in, but once the third act really started getting going, once the Beast arrives in New Marais, that's when the story got super interesting and all of the karmic choices were really paying off. Kind of like the opposite of L.A. Noire. It made the main character more interesting because you had direct control of his choices. L.A. Noire is a story that probably could be told just in a film. LA Confidential. But Infamous is a truly interactive experience that you can't really get unless you play it. Now, for those of you who haven't played the first game, I highly suggest that you do, because one of the main plot points that I'm about to talk about is directly tied to the first game. Infamous 2 presents the idea of a conduit, and that's a person who can get superpowers with the right sort of influence. And finding out that John, a character from the first game that you thought had died, ends up being the Beast really blew my mind. It wasn't as awesome as the Kessler spoiler at the end of the first game. That, I was just like, no, what? Oh my god, you have to play Infamous. Utilizing a previously known character for the main villain was a very good idea, because the crowd who had already played Infamous 1 was already invested in John as a character. They already knew him, and they already knew what the Beast could do. So bringing those two things together was perfect, especially because ultimately at the end of the game, Cole has to decide whether to eradicate all of the non-conduit humans in order for the conduits to survive, which is very, very selfish, or kill all of the conduits in order to prevent a disease that is killing humanity from spreading all across the world. Another thing that I found interesting was when you were paired with a certain karmic type, so if you were good or evil, you were paired with a certain conduit. And the very last mission you choose, it literally says good or positive and negative, and you choose. And I had been going good the whole time, so I picked good. Either way, if I was good the whole time and picked the bad one, it would 100% flip me over to evil. like full bad guy because I'm eradicating the human race from the world. Oh, no big deal. But it switched which character you were partnered in. And for the story, it made sense because Quo, who was the good one, feared for her life because she was so uptight. Not necessarily uptight, but just she was fearful from how she got her powers that she didn't want to die. She was so concerned with her own life. And the signs had been pointing to that change. Another reason I would never be able to play on the evil karmic difficulty was what you have to do at the end. I know I've already ruined a bunch of stuff, but really, if you haven't played Infamous 2 and you want to, stop watching this video right now because this is a super fucking spoiler. And I even dropped the bomb so that you could get the gist of it. Stop watching now if you want to play Infamous 2. Especially on the bad level. Once you decide that you're doing the bad ending and you're joining the beast and eradicating human life, which also is kind of a cop-out because once you decide, John's like, oh, I'm tired, here's all of my power, and then Cole becomes the beast, essentially. Either way, once you decide that you're the bad character, Zeke, who you just found out has the sickness and he's pretty far along, tells you, essentially, if you see me again, you better shoot first. All of the friendship that you were building for the entire game gets thrown away. And, like, some of the cutscenes, it doesn't matter whether you're good or bad. They still happen the same way, and you're with Zeke the whole time. Or you're just using him as a means to an end. Ooh, that's complicated. I like that. But one of the last things that you have to do is kill Zeke. I was watching the YouTube ending of it, and I couldn't finish watching it. That's not true. I stopped, I paused, and I was just like, oh my god, You just have to keep shocking him, and shocking him, and shocking him until he can't raise his gun anymore. And he dies, and it's horrible, and Cole kills all of humanity, and recruits more conduits, and humanity evolves. And the good ending, well, he beats the beast, sets off the race sphere, and kills all of the conduits, including himself. Now that ends with a private funeral at sea. All of humanity is saved, and everybody remembers Cole for the positive thing that he did, saving everyone. Needs of the many, all that junk. Zeke takes him out to a private burial at sea when the last thing you see is lightning strike the boat that Cole is on. So needless to say, I think we're going to be seeing an Infamous 3, and I'm very excited for the DLC Festival of Blood. Leave it to Infamous to be leading the charge in making vampires badass again. Fucking super vampires with conduit blood? Sign me up. Thanks again for watching this spoiler-ridden review of Infamous 2. If you guys want me to review any other games, leave a comment down below. I'm thinking of either Resistance 3 or Dead Island, just came out on Tuesday, sort of Resistance. And Star Fox, I'm getting Star Fox for the 3DS. Let me know what games that are coming out or what games that just came out do you want me to talk about. I'll try to play as much as I can, and then I'll get in front of the camera and tell you what I thought. So leave a comment down below, leave a video response. Have you played Infamous 2? I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments down below. But for now, I'm going to give you an electrified